About 5 years ago, when I first started my Tiara's place, the jewelry and the ladies' apparel boutique, I always did theme events, and one of them was a breast cancer event. It was supposed to be a girls' day out, and we had a few girls, about 25 at my house. It all started at my house, just a family girls' day out thing. And while we were shopping and fellowshipping, a few of them started talking about, ooh, you know, they went to the OBG, they got bad news. And as I started hearing some of the friends and guests that were there talking about, oh yes, that happened to me too, I just had this thought of, okay, this is something that we need to really talk about. I didn't realize many of my friends were in this predicament. So the next year, we had another 25, 30 people at my house, and we started getting guest speakers and stars. Actually, the one who we're donating to charity this year, we had a vice president come out and she spoke and did the education and testimonies. And actually one of my team members, Tiara's Place team members, her mother had passed from breast cancer. So I started to see a lot of my extended family being affected by that. So I just decided that I wanted to just continue doing education. I didn't expect it to be where it is now. This was 5 years ago. I didn't see it where it is now. So it's an honor to see all this, and I am overwhelmed. I was trying to do something a little bit different besides just having the average testimony from a breast cancer survivor. And just one evening, I was just on Facebook just Googling some stuff, and I came across Paulette and her talking about her walk on my timeline. So I started reading up on her and I started researching her, and you know, at the time she was in the middle of her walk. And I said, this is interesting, this is different. And I like what she was talking about, the affordable, well, I should say non-affordable health care for most cancer survivors who can't afford the medicines, especially, you know, doing some research, African Americans. And I just started watching it, and actually I was not going to do the breast cancer this year. But I reached out to Miss Paulette, and I didn't think she was going to answer me, and she responded back. She says, yes, I will be there. I said, okay, I guess I'm having a breast cancer event this year. We just opened up our website, www.TearDrop.org, and there is a section that you can sign up to do volunteer work, for donations. We plan as we go on and get, you know, our 501c that we will want to take, get some grants that we can offer short-term financial assistance, whether maybe your MLGW bill, helping you with prescriptions, anything that we can with the funds that we eventually will get. You may be losing your house. We're going to offer you resources to do foreclosure assistance counseling. And the list can go on. As we grow, we extend additional services. I just hope that with Paulette and her vision, and with the vision of Tiara's Place and Tiara's TearDrop, that everyone can understand that it just doesn't affect the person who has breast cancer. It affects you as a community, and it's no longer a taboo. We have to really see, you know, the effects of it, whether it be, as she did, the topless, or you're hiding it, hiding it, whatever. We have to learn more about breast cancer and how it can affect everybody in the community.
Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Penny Coleman. I'm the owner of Tiara's Place and the executive director of Tiara's TearDrop. Welcome to our 5th annual Breast Cancer Awareness Award. Our theme this year is Yellow is the New Pink, I Matter. Each year we host this event to celebrate survivorship by creating a platform for men and women affected by breast cancer to share their journey and testimonies, and also to pay tribute to those who have lost the fight. I want to introduce our MC for the afternoon. When I contacted her and asked her for her bio, she forwarded to me 2 things. One would have expected that she would have given me all her accolades that she has. 2016 Female Pastor of the Year. She's a mother, senior associate pastor of New Direction. She's a community advocate, dynamic speaker, certified professional coach. She didn't give me any of that. she sent me two things, two powerful things. Ladies and gentlemen, our MC for the afternoon, she loves God and believes in God's healing and power. It's my honor and pleasure to introduce Pastor Karen Todd.
So I feel like Cinderella, but that's okay. My name is Pastor Karen Todd, and Tammy is right. I really don't like all of the reading, and you're kind of sitting there ready to get up, and they're like, and then she did this, and then she did this, and she's a mother. I'm like, listen, tell them I love God, and I believe in the power of God's healing, and we're going to get on up here and we're going to do it, all right? Because that's what this is about. So let me give you a little bit of what's about to happen as they go forward. We have Miss Crystal Brown here, who's going to bless us with saxophone, with some music. platinum sponsor. She's going to do the introduction of the speaker, Ms. Mary Tate Smith with Cigna Healthcare. So let's welcome Ms. Mary Tate.
Good afternoon, everyone. I'm just going to continue while we get through our food here. It's such a great afternoon, and we're here for such a great cause. Again, my name is Mary Tate Smith, Senior Vice President of Cigna Healthcare located here in Memphis. Our goal is to try to give back and partner within the community wherever is possible. I'm very excited today to introduce our guest speaker. Our guest speaker is Paulette Leaphart. She left her home of Biloxi, Mississippi on April 30th, intent on walking to Washington, D.C. She made that journey of 1,034 miles by her birthday. And this was a special birthday. It was her 50th birthday, June 27th. It's a milestone for her because her doctors did not even know if she was going to make her 50th birthday. She strives with a sense of purpose, acknowledging that her body is forever changing. Leaphart was diagnosed with stage 2 breast cancer in January 2014. She underwent a double mastectomy and wears the scars throughout her struggles. Accompanied by her youngest daughter, 8-year-old Madeline, Leaphart is traveling the entire route topless. And that within itself is amazing. All she could talk about was what will happen when she gets to Washington. She wanted Washington and the lawmakers to know that we need to make a difference in how we look at healthcare, how we acknowledge some of the diseases and things that we're going through. And so many people, no matter where you go or who you run into, everyone is touched by breast cancer through a friend or a family member. And just someone like Ms. Leaphart, who's bringing that awareness to the world, is a testimony within itself. She shares her stories with others, and we are looking forward to hearing her story today. Without further delay, I'd like to introduce Ms. Paulette Leaphart.
Hi, everybody. The yellow and the pink together, oh my gosh. You guys are giving me some ideas. I have a lot of people asking me, I've been doing some functions, you know, why the yellow? What does the yellow mean? Yellow is the color of hope, and it's the color of healing. Have anything against the pink. Actually, pink was my favorite color, or still is my favorite color. But we've had enough awareness in this country. We've had 30 plus years of awareness. I know Susan G. Komen came up with the pink ribbon and the color pink to bring about awareness. And although awareness is needed, but after 20 years, somebody had to stand up and say, hey, wait a minute, where's the cure? Where's the cure? We've had enough. We've had enough year after year after year after year of the awareness. It's time for a cure. So after I was diagnosed, January 2014, by the doctors, but actually God came to me at 2 o'clock in the morning in late December and woke me up at 2 o'clock in the morning. And I heard him whisper that cancer was growing in my breast. I was 47 years old, and I have a strong family history. My mom, my grandma, my cousin, who I lost at 31, and my mother's baby sister passed away from breast cancer at 45. And I was angry when I was diagnosed. I was angry. I wasn't scared. I think I was more angry than I was scared. And I was angry because the women in my family didn't talk about it. I mean, we knew they were sick. We knew that they were battling cancer. But they didn't talk about it. It was always, we're okay. I'm okay. You know, and they hid it from us. And that angered me. And ladies, we gotta change that. We gotta talk about this disease because it's killing us. It's killing us. You know, enough of it's my business and I don't want my children to know. But we need to know. You need to talk to your daughters. You need to talk to your granddaughters about this disease. You need to show them, you know. You need to show them because telling them is one thing, but when they see the effects, it's a whole different other ballpark. It gets attention. And as I was going through my battle with cancer, like I said, I was angry. And there was no way I was going to let cancer take me from my babies. I'm a mother of 8. I have 8 children from 30 years old to yesterday. My baby turned 9. And I missed her birthday because I was speaking at another event in Atlanta, Georgia. But there was no way I was going to let cancer take me. And God had given me a fighting spirit. I've been fighting all my life. I was born uncelebrated. My mom was 15 years old when she gave birth to me and just didn't know how to raise children. So I wasn't celebrated. But I had a great grandmother who gave me a gift of faith. She gave me faith when I was 4 or 5 years old. I knew who God was because I was abused. And she told me she was in her 80s and she couldn't protect me from the abusers physically, but she gave me a gift of Jesus. And although the abusers abused my body and sometimes my mind, but there was one thing that I knew that I could keep and not let them have, and that was my spirit. And that was a spirit to always fight. So when someone questioned me when I was diagnosed, were you scared? No, I put on my boxing gloves. And I was ready to take this bull by the horn. Cancer threw me down. It knocked me down. Cancer stole from me. It stole my house because I didn't have cancer when I was diagnosed with breast cancer. I mean, I didn't have insurance when I was diagnosed with breast cancer. I was a single mother of 4 young daughters. My 4 older kids were gone and living their lives, but I had still 4 young daughters at home. And the reason I never went for a mammogram is because I couldn't afford it. A mammogram is $1,200. I don't know if you guys know that. You know, and I just never went because $1,200 to a single mom was like, that was like a lot of money. Now, had my children needed it, I'd have dropped it in the bucket quickly. They needed a test that cost $1,200. And that's another thing that I want us ladies to stop doing. We need to stop putting ourselves last. We need to start taking our health serious. We need to stop it. We need to stop that. We put everybody first. As mothers and as wives and as women, we take care of everybody else and we put ourselves on the back burner. But thank God for my spirit and thank God for my obedience, and I thank God for my grandmother for giving me the gift of Jesus. And one of my prayers was to God every day. It was, God, when you whisper, I want to hear you. So when he whispered to me I had cancer and I needed to go get checked, I was obedient. And I went. I paid the $1,200 and I had the mammogram done, only for it to come back to say that I didn't have anything wrong. But I know God. and I know God don't lie, and I know his voice. So I looked at my doctor, and I said, something's wrong. I don't know what test you have to do, but something is wrong. So we have to do some more testing. And he was like, well, come back in 6 months, and we'll redo the mammogram. That's another $1,200. And we'll compare the two. And I grabbed him by his hand. Because, you know, we have to listen to our spirit. And I looked this doctor in his eyes and I said, something is wrong and I need another test and I need it now. And he said, well, because of your family history, we can do an ultrasound. So he sent me for an ultrasound. A couple days, you know, the test came back. I got a call from my doctor and he said the test came back and there was something suspicious. When can I come in and talk to him about it? I said yesterday. So I went in and he said, we need to do a biopsy. And I said, okay, so I did the biopsy and of course it came back positive. But the lump was so small, he tried to keep me calm, and I was calm because I knew I was going to be okay. Because God woke me up and told me I had it. And I know God wasn't going to wake me up to let me die and to let me down. So I wasn't afraid of losing my life. I knew I had to go through something. So he said, well, it's a small tumor, and you know, I think what we need to do is just cut the tumor out and we'll go from there. But when the pathology report came back, it showed something totally different. And that's what he suggested. He said, because of the type of cancer you have and because of your family history, I'm recommending that we take both your breasts. That's when I lost it. That's when I lost it. I couldn't understand, you know, I heard him, but it was like, you know, Charlie Brown, wah, 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 wah. You know, I heard the words, but it was like a Charlie Brown conversation. Because my mind just went left when he said cut. Not the proper terminology for cutting the breast is double mastectomies. You know, they want to make everything pretty. But what it really is they amputated. He was going to amputate both my breasts. And I'm a lady, and I like looking good. I like my femininity, and I like my sexuality, and you know, I was still in the prime of my life. And hearing him speak around to me about cutting my breast, I wasn't trying to hear that. Not that I was vain, but I was vain. You know, and we are, ladies, let's admit it. We take a lot of pride in our looks. So I said to him, why are you cutting both my breasts? He said, well, Ms. Leaphart, I'm gonna tell you, if I don't, it's gonna come back. And when it comes back, it's gonna come back with a vengeance. So that's my recommendation. You go home and you take a couple days and you think about it. So I got home and I'm crying and I'm upset, you know, again, about my breast. Wasn't upset about the cancer, but cutting my breast. So the next day I called him and I said, well, are you gonna give me some new breast? And he said, yeah, we can do it. And then I felt okay. I said, okay, let's do the surgery. Let's get rid of them. Free breast? Okay, I can go with that, you know. Can I pick the size? He's like, yeah. You can pick your size. And I said, oh, okay. So I felt better. So he sent me to see the reconstruction doctor. And the reconstruction doctor had my records. And in my records, I have another blood disorder. And he gave me a blow. He said, because of your blood disorder, I'm not comfortable giving you a reconstruction. He said, because if I do, once I put the implants in, you have to go back on your medications, which is a blood thinner, and you're gonna have some bleeding. He said, if you have some bleeding behind those implants, then I'm gonna have to go back in there and take them out. He said, Ms. Leaphart, I don't wanna put you through that. It's not worth it. It's not worth your life. you know, and I'm going back and forth with him, and finally the realization came that, you know, the breasts really aren't worth my life. You know, they're not. I needed to be here with my children. But on the other hand, I go back home, I wanted to know what I was gonna look like. I'm a woman, and I've never seen a woman without breasts. So what does it look like? So I got home and I'm on the computer and I was looking up double mastectomies, hoping to see a woman in the flesh on a picture with no breasts, and I couldn't find it. I couldn't find it anywhere. And it devastated me because I didn't know what I was gonna look like. But I had the double mastectomies without the reconstruction. And I went into a deep, deep depression afterwards. I mean, looking at my body, feeling deformed, feeling like I wasn't a woman. I didn't know what I was, you know, but I didn't feel like a woman anymore. And after 8 months of treatment, I had had enough, and I told my doctors I needed to take a break, and I took my 4 young daughters and we went to the beach in my hometown of Paulette, Mississippi. And while I was on the beach, the Holy Spirit, God, voice came to me again. And he said, take off your shirt. Now, this is Labor Day weekend, and there's people everywhere. And God said, take off your shirt and take pictures. I know God's voice. And I obey his voice because it was God and his voice that got me to where I am today. So in obedience, the Holy Spirit gave me the strength to take off my top. And I gave my 12-year-old daughter my camera. And I said, take pictures of mommy, I'm gonna take off my shirt. And as I was standing there,